Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Football Rovers podcast.
Good evening.
Good evening. There's not many because there's been a lot of controversy going on today, and a couple of vloggers are just doing their own thing at the moment. We'll talk about that in a minute. But before we do, just to introduce everybody, what we normally do is we talk about our own clubs and the week in football. So I've got Mr. Dore from Nottingham Forest. Good evening, Ben.
Wagwan.
I've also got Peter Dunbar and Ryan Dunbar tonight, who are actually, where we say on the show, we don't know Scottish football. These guys do know Scottish football, so they're going to fill us in on it. So we're going to be waiting a little bit of a while because Doncaster Rovers, if you didn't know today, their manager has moved sensationally towards the back end of the season when Doncaster are really looking at going for a promotion, and he's gone to Sheffield Wednesday. And if anybody watches this show week in, week out, we have Jake, who is Punk Chef 41, and he keeps telling us what a nightmare club Sheffield Wednesday are. So it's a bit of a shock as to why he's gone there. But we'll and then their manager's called Darren Moore. But I'll just introduce first of all Mr. Dore from Dore on Tour, Nottingham Forest vlogger, and you had a big derby game with Derby, didn't you, in the week? Tell us all about it. You said, actually, if I remember, last week your prediction was 5-0 to the Forest. I think you said, is that right? All right.
I did. You know what? To be fair, right? It was a Chris Hughton performance, and we played. I think it wasn't great, but it was. We should have won the game, right. And one silly mistake from Figueiredo that it cost us the win. But all around, I said before the game, I'll take 1-1 because Derby were playing fantastic. So not fantastic. When they scored their goal, it was all over us. So a point from that, though, is fair enough. But mid-table, I said mid-table, and we are mid-table, so you can't complain. But Derby's still whack anyway.
It's
Dore.
It's a
Dore,
point away from home.
Is it still as big a derby? The Nottingham Forest in Derby.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. Right, I see. I cut it short. People say it's Forest and Derby. Derby, it's a derby. You've got to go. You've got to go to the game to see the atmosphere. Because I hear about people talk about Blackburn, Blackpool, and Fleetwood. Is that a derby? It is a derby, isn't it? And
yeah,
when you hear people saying, "Oh, Forest derby," it's not a derby. Yes, it is a derby. And when you hear from other fans saying, "No," when you hear other fans saying it's not a derby, it is. So it's annoying.
Did that basically start because of Clough?
Yeah, because he
sort of.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a derby just purely on geographically. Well, it's not too far away from Nottingham, is it? Derby, how far is it? Half an 30,
hour. About that. 30 miles it is.
Are they your closest club, Derby?
Notts County are close to us now.
Yeah, but I mean, as like a
yeah. Derby's 30 miles away from us, so. Basically,
what is the situation in Nottingham with Notts County? I mean, I don't think you've played them in God knows how many years, have you? So, is there any sort of rivalry in the town? How many people follow County? Is it just
Notts County? They hate us. Especially the fans. The fans don't like us because of our success. We don't really care. They're just like a
Fleetwood.
They're just an annoying big brother. From across the road, thinking, "Oh, hi, you want attention?"
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, well, it's the same with us in Fleetwood. It's not.
Yeah, really, I don't hate Notts County.
No.
But I think it's just a older generation.
Have you ever watched a game? Have you ever been to Notts County?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched a game there?
I live across the road from Notts County. Literally across the road.
Oh, you do, yeah.
They're a good club, and I want them to get promoted to League Two.
Yeah.
Because. Right. Yeah, this is a good club. I'm doing the semi-final as well in the some trophy as well. So, have you? Has anyone saw the Notts County goal?
I haven't. No.
Oh, go on Sky Sports. It's a Puskas goal. You know, one of them flicks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, basically they scored one of the goals on Saturday, and it's gone all over. You've not seen the goal. You've not saw the goal. No. Come on.
We don't.
You're
It's
really-
like Notts County. I mean, obviously you're in Nottingham, but no, it doesn't mean anything to me. I wouldn't even look at for Notts County, to be honest. I wouldn't even think they could score a wonder goal. Is it all over Twitter or something?
You lot are blind. People in comments. Has anyone saw Notts County's goal? If you have,
yes.
then listen.
Let's have a look at the comments before we go.
Some abuse. And how can you not see the goal? It's basically, is it every year they have a Puskas goal, don't they? Every year.
Yes.
Yeah. Notts County done it on Saturday. And it's all over. Even FIFA retweeted it.
I've got to see it then, obviously.
You've got to see the goal.
Just very quickly.
People in the comments. Have you saw the goal?
Put in the comments if you've seen that goal, absolutely. Adam Clark says, the Cods have betrayed us. I think he's referring to Ben. He's actually committed to something else tonight, but he will be on later. Hopefully, he'll be on about 9 o'clock. But, of course, he's not got much to say at the moment, has he? Because I think they missed a penalty as well on Saturday, so he'll be even angrier. So, as Fleetwood drifting ever nearer and nearer to the drop, really, the wrong end of the table.
I personally think Grayson's not that bad, man. I think
Did you not watch Sunderland till I die? They were cheering him out of the place after
come on, Brad.
2 months.
Right. So,
Ryan's just showing me the goal.
Okay.
Yeah, right. It's a good goal. Like Grayson, there's different.
Wow. Wow.
There you go. Well, explain it to us.
Wow.
What happened?
The ball came in. The ball came in from the left, and the player in the middle is actually facing the goal, but the ball, by the looks of it, has come in behind him, and he's just flicked his leg up from behind, and it's just went over his head and into the goal. What a goal!
Wow.
I don't know if I can show it on air, because if I do show it on air, it'll show copyrights, won't it? So I don't know.
It probably will. So we probably won't.
That's one of the points. That's one of the points I'm going to bring up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, aren't we? Just before you come on, we've got just to introduce you. We've got that sort of right over your face, isn't it? Let's see if I can just get rid of that. Yeah. So this is Peter, who is SPFL Through the Lens. He is our Scottish correspondent for the day, because we don't know much about Scottish football. And of course, we have Scottish viewers on, and we've got Ryan Dunbar as well with him, who's his son, and he's a big fan of all our shows. I think he's on every football blogging show known to man. I think he's known the world over. So here's Ryan. Football Prime Ginger's actually asking you before you start, what's your thoughts, Peter and Ryan, on today's update for League One and League Two, and also non-league? There's still no answer when they can return. Does he mean League One?
They're still discussing at the moment, as far as I believe. Yeah, everything below the Premier League and the Championship has been suspended because of COVID. But the leagues had a meeting with the Scottish Government today, and they're still in discussion with regards to all the protocols that all the leagues, all the teams in the lower leagues are trying to put into place to prove that it's going to be safe for the players to come back. But still, there's still not been any decision, which is very unfortunate, because I'm not getting any games to do either, because I work with St Mirren and there's no academy games. So I'm climbing the walls as well. So the sooner the football's back, the better.
So have they not even hinted when it's back? Have they hinted when it's... No.
Initially it was supposed to be suspended for, I think it was 3-4 weeks.
That was
suspended
for 3 weeks.
But then it got extended because of COVID, and the results were still too high with the positive cases. But it's just a nightmare, because at the moment the Scottish Cup is suspended at the moment. No one can play the Scottish Cup because this is round 3. Rangers, for example, they got, was it Cove Rangers, and they're one of the lower division teams, and they can't play them because they're not playing. So when they come back, you're still, we should be in round 4 going into quarter-final stages very soon.
You'll be lucky if the Scottish Cup
you'll be lucky
this season.
You'll be lucky if it gets played this year.
Yeah, proud to be posh has said, who are these blokes at the bottom? Never seen them in here before. Well, you've seen Peter a couple of times if you've been watching the show, because he's come through to just cover us on a bit of Scottish football, and he's actually Ryan Dunbar's dad. He's brought Ryan in today with us so we can all see who Ryan is, because he's obviously he's normally moderating my channel for me, to be honest. So it's a different role tonight for Ryan. He's not a moderator. He's in on the stream. Football Prime Ginger is also asking, Dore, do you know ex-Forest player called Brian Rice, who is now manager of Hamilton? He's coming on my channel for an interview. Can you tell us about Brian Rice?
I know Brian Rice. He's got a chant. There's one Brian Rice. Number 2, Brian Rice. And it goes on, goes on.
Number 3 is
Brian Rice.
Yeah, number 4 is Brian Rice. We used to have the same thing for Dave Bamber. We used to do the same thing.
I think
we all live in a Dave Bamber world, it was. Yeah, so I suppose it's weird.
I think he's a very, very positive manager, Brian Rice. For the budget he's got, he must have one of the smallest in the Scottish Premier League. They're a great club to bring in the youth. A fantastic club. They're bringing in like MacArthur and McCarthy and guys like this that have come through the system. Their youth system is second to none. It really is. And he's really, really positive. Even when they're playing against Rangers and Celtic, they have a go. They don't park the bus. They don't play with 5 across the back. They go and they attack. And he should be applauded for that. He really is a really, really positive manager.
Right.
And for some reason, Hamilton, everyone bets them to get relegated, and then come the turn of the year, where they're down the very bottom, turn of the year, they just keep pulling out results from nowhere.
Right.
Every single year on year, they always go in a run of games.
Amazing. They're like
to
the
save
escape
themselves.
Artists, aren't they? Then they're like,
Houdini
like
of
the
Scottish
Houdinis
League.
of the.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They're really, really good, but they're positive. And I mean, they brought the guy, is it Anderson from Aberdeen, and is it Callahan? Some fantastic young players, really good, and they all seem to go out, and it's an artificial pitch. It's not the best pitch.
Right.
It's tight. It's one of those artificial ones, but it's just every single year, Hamilton Accies always seem to turn it round come the turn of the year. I don't know why. I don't know what the
how they do it. But they do it. They must just have that fighting spirit. I would imagine the belief, if they've done it that many times, they know they can do it again and again and again. Mark Porter is saying, for the Scottish lads, I used to live in Peterhead, far northeast of Scotland. Any of you seen them play? Have you seen Peterhead?
We've seen them very briefly when Rangers went down the divisions, and that was a trip. That's a trip. I mean, you're talking from where we are. Yes, yeah, you're talking.
How many hours would it take to get there?
I would say about 5.5.
Really?
From where we are. Yeah.
5.5 hours from Glasgow. Is it on the other coast?
Yeah, it's in the east, the top northeast.
Oh right, okay.
It's it's away by Aberdeen.
So what are the roads like to get there?
The A9's terrible. A9's terrible. Yeah. But when you go by Aviemore and stuff like that, you always have to stop. When I was with first team with Morton and the academy at Rangers, we always stopped at Aviemore just for the players to stretch their legs, because it's far too long a journey just to sit in the coach. So we normally stop off at Aviemore, stretch your legs, get a cup of coffee or whatever. But when Rangers went down the division, I think they saved Scottish football, to be honest with you, as well, because all these clubs, these smaller clubs, some of the clubs were a wee bit naughty with regards to the amount of allocation of tickets, because they oversold, and some of the grounds, their capacity was well over capacity, but they were making loads of money, and it was great, and everyone in the lower divisions made Rangers welcome.
I know there was a lot of like temporary stands put up, wasn't there, and stuff like that. You know, a lot of the clubs like put temporaries up, didn't they, to get the thousands in. How many did you take on average to these small clubs down the lower leagues? Because you had to come back from like the fourth. Was it like the fourth level? Did you go? Was it?
Down at the time was it Division 3? We went right down to the bottom of Scottish football.
It was probably good fun, though, I would imagine, just for a few years. I know you couldn't win like the big titles, but the fun of going to all these different grounds and probably winning easy, I would imagine, week on, week out, it would have been quite a good time.
Well, you imagine teams like Peterhead, we played them in the Scottish, was it the League Cup or the Scottish? No, in fact, it was one of the Junior Cup finals, wasn't it? It was the Petrofac Cup final at Hampden, and that was a good day out. But with regards to going through the bottom leagues, I think it's a defiance as well with Rangers. The fans are saying, look, you voted us down here. We've accepted it, and we'll come back. At the time, Rangers were very, very badly run, and it was touch and go whether they were going to survive or not. But thankfully, I don't think any other team would have survived it. Due to the fan base and the support, and the fans putting money into the club. That's how they survived. I don't think any other club would have survived.
No.
And I include Celtic with that.
I would like to think, I would have liked to have thought, because there was a worry at one time that, Blackpool, the Oysters were going to take us into non-league, or we're going to go out of the league and maybe have to restart as a new club. And I was always of that thought that if we did, I'd just go on the journey of trying to get, do a Wimbledon and go through all the divisions and just go to all these little non-league grounds, because I quite like the non-league stuff, to be honest. I don't mind it, and I think it would have just been great to win week in, week out, and come back up through the divisions with, with thousands following the non-league. I kind of thought it would be a journey. You could almost write a book about it, couldn't you? It's such an unusual journey for a football.
It's not just the club you're giving money into; it's the sort of surrounding businesses, the pubs, the cafes, the takeaway places. Everyone is getting a sort of share of this. So when we went to places like Stranraer, like Peterhead, like Elgin, these are the places that no wonder they loved Rangers coming, because you're
probably about 100 fans or something.
Normally it's like 100, a few hundred, and now all of a sudden the ground is filled with thousands. So you take into account the businesses in the surrounding areas, as I say, is like the cafes, like the takeaway places.
How many teams were in those leagues, Peter? Because how many teams are in the Scottish Premier League altogether? How many teams are in that league?
Premier League, there's 12 at the moment.
There's 12. So when you get down to the tier 4, how many actual clubs are there in those leagues?
There's not many. There's like 12, 10, 12.
So would you play all them twice, 4 times? 10. Would you play them 4 times?
Yes.
4 times,
Yeah, twice at home, twice away.
Well, I'll be back in 1 sec.
Okay.
No
well,
bother.
Just be back. We are waiting for other people to come in, so I do apologise about there is a few still. Somebody's actually mentioned. Let's go. Somebody's actually mentioned where's Tyler after Blackpool beat Charlton. Adam Clark says let's talk about Blackpool. So I will have a little chat about Blackpool for those Blackpool fans that are here. I did actually do a stream on Sunday, and I talked all about it. I did about an hour and 30 minutes, I think, of an hour and 40 minutes talking about the game and where I think Blackpool's going at the moment. Because for us, we had a game called off in midweek. We were due to play Donny, and we had a lot of water came down on that day, and they tested the pitch. They rolled a ball on it. And it was just sticking on the pitch, so they called it off. And it was very disappointing because we were really buzzing from obviously winning at Pompey away on the Saturday. So everybody in Blackpool was bursting for this game. So that didn't go on. And then there was a little fear of going to Charlton because obviously they have been up there, and they did beat us at Bloomfield Road. But I was pretty positive going in. I gave a 3-1 prediction before the game, and of course the game was 3-0. Charlton kind of imploded a little bit. Blackpool the first half, they just really bossed Charlton out of the game. We got a nailed-on penalty after 20 minutes, which is unusual for us to get a penalty, but we got a penalty. Then we scored a bit of a worldie with Matty Virtue, who just took the ball, just got a great through ball to him, had loads of space and just had a dig from about 30-odd yards out, and it went in off the inside of the posts, right along the floor. Goalkeeper, no chance. So it was 2-0 at half-time, and then we came out for second half, and a lot of the Blackpool fans were... some of them were mentioning the fact we'd have been 2-0 up against Doncaster at half-time and threw it all away. And so there was that fear, but Charlton came out and got a man sent off within a couple of minutes. There was a bit of a collision with two players, and apparently he went in after on him, and I don't know, the fourth official saw it, and then he got sent off. They were down to 10 men, so it was easy. They got another man sent off, but apparently it's been rescinded today.
Their man that's been sent off, that's been overturned.
I know, but I thought it was a red. He seemed to go in with his elbow. But anyway, it's been on tour. But it wouldn't have made any difference anyway, to be honest, because they were never going to come back. Blackpool were just too good for him that day. And it's looking very exciting for Blackpool at the moment. For anybody, for anybody who's tuning in on this, it is looking exciting.
From the 26th of January, what is it, the last 6 games, you won 5?
Yeah, we won 5 out of the last 6. And we're getting better. The thing is, we are actually...
It's because you got the Forrest defender. That's what it is.
Oh, I tell you, Dore, honestly, you can't have him back. We're going to hide him in a suitcase, and we're just going to keep him at Blackpool and just offer him loads of sticks of rock to stay here. Because I tell you what,
this is why Blackpool. People in the comments. This is why Blackpool are doing great, because we've got the best right back in the league.
He's awesome. He's unbelievable, but he was a little bit iffy at the start, if I'm being honest. He was a little, but the beauty of any club now sending these young players to Blackpool is, you've got Neil Critchley there, and he's an unbelievable coach, and he's just coaching these lads so well. So when you get him back, he'll be far better than he was when you sent him down to us, because he's just getting first class. I mean, he's getting world class coaching. I mean, Neil Critchley is one of the only 4 coaches in the world that has the badge that he has.
Yeah.
He's like the top of the tree for coaching, and of course he's brought loads of lads through. I mean, there's just loads. He was actually saying in an interview today on the Blackpool site that whenever he plays a team, there's always kids in their team that know him, because he's either coached them or he's met them, for Liverpool during the time he's been there. So he's a fantastic coach, and he will improve him. And Gabriel, he is so fast.
He is fast.
Honestly, left backs have no chance. Left forwards, the left winger just can't get past him.
Lee, you're not having him, Lee. Just want to tell you, you're not having him.
He looks very happy.
How long have you had Jerry Yates? Because he seems to be certainly found his scoring boots, has he not?
He has now, yeah. We got him in the summer. He was at Swindon on loan last year, and then Rotherham were letting him go.
5 goals in the last 6 games or something?
Yeah, I mean, he got 2 penalties like yesterday, but he has scored like 2 absolutely brilliant goals.
He still needs to put them away.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course, yeah. But if you got penalties, you've always got a little bit of an extra chance, haven't you, of scoring. But yeah, he's full of confidence, and he's scoring goals that only class strikers score. There's two of the last goals that he scored. The one away at Portsmouth was incredible, where they almost fouled him on the halfway line. He got up off the floor and just ran, and then took 3 players on and put it in the far corner of the net. And the other one at home, I think it was against Shrewsbury. I think it was. I can't remember the game. I think it was Shrewsbury, and there was a long throw out just at the end from Maxwell, and he just took it on, and he went to the box, and there was 4 defenders around him, and you're thinking pass. He took all the 4 defenders on, then skipped round the goalkeeper and slid it on an angle into the far corner again. They're just goals that you've got to be that talented. He even did a bit of a Cruyff turn in the box as well when he did it. So it's like, wow, if it had been Premier League, he'd been on it all the time. You'd have seen it over and over and over again.
He is scoring goals, isn't it? Every time I see Blackburn score, Jerry Yates.
I know.
Gabriel is scoring goals, running through right back.
Gabriel does attack. He does really attack, but he tends to end up as the winger. He overlaps, and he's putting the ball across. So that's probably why he's never in a scoring position. But he is, he's a great. Honestly, he can get up and down that pitch.
What about defending? I think the reason I think Forrest took him on limb, because he was good going forward, but his defensive was like his inexperience as well.
Yeah, not now, Dore, honestly. Well, we were saying the same thing. Great going forward, a bit dodgy in defence for the first few games. A lot of fans were saying that, but flipping heck, he isn't now, mate. Honestly, he's come on. He's come on fantastic. Barrow on tour. We'll go through some of these comments, because obviously we're still waiting for vloggers to come in. Barrow on tour is saying, what are our thoughts on Barrow? Well, it's looking a bit
Barrow.
They got beat by Bolton, didn't they? Did they get beat by Bolton? Where are they in the league, Barrow? I think they're getting very close to the relegation, aren't they? Which should be a shame, really, because
it was 1-0. Lost 1-0, didn't they?
Yeah, the thing about Barrow is it's taking you God knows how many years to get into the Football League, and you're in the Football League, and you don't even have a chance to go because this year it's no fans. It's sad, really, isn't it? And if you get relegated, you never get a chance to actually experience being in the Football League. And I think that's my thoughts on Barrow, really. And I kind of hope you stay up, so you do maybe get to see some of the games next season. So I'll certainly be.
I just hope Bolton didn't get. I just hope Bolton didn't get promoted. Don't go up. Can't stand him.
See, obviously, because the governments in Scotland and England are totally different. Boris has come out last week with regards to your sort of road out of the COVID. Is there any discussion when fans are going to be allowed back down in England?
I'm sure it's May. May something it is.
What's May? Sorry.
For the fans to get back.
Yeah, they said something possibly May, so maybe the playoffs may be a possibility.
Obviously, but
10,000 can go in.
I was going to say that surely that's not full capacity.
Oh no, it's only going to be 20%. 20% of your gate, apparently. Dennis Hutch is saying, question for Ryan here. Can Fleetwood still secure relegation, or have they let their run too late? Says Dennis. What do you reckon to that? Do you think they will secure relegation at Fleetwood? What are you thinking? What are you thinking there, Ryan? You know, I like to give them a bit of stick.
What do you think? Will they get relegated?
Of course they will.
They are. You heard it first from Ryan. Of course, they will. Michael Haig is here. He says, yes, as predicted, Lambert has gone from Ipswich, and the shock of the week, Darren Moore jumping ship to Sheffield Wednesday. Yes, we are hopefully going to get. We were hoping to get a Donny Rovers fan in tonight, because Dapper can't be in tonight, unfortunately, because he's got work. And Aaron, I don't know, he seems to have got caught on another podcast, because Doncaster is going ballistic at the moment. Fans in Doncaster are really upset about Darren Moore jumping ship to go, because they love him. I mean, anybody who watches this show week in, week out will have seen that Dapper really likes Darren Moore, and it's kind of sad, really. And I don't know, you guys, I'll ask you a lot. I mean, of all the clubs at the moment to go to, Sheffield Wednesday, it's got to be money he's gone for, but blimey, heck, you're taking on a load of problems if you go to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, but you know, it's like, I understand. I understand. Like,
right, we've got Aaron coming in now. Sorry, here he is. We'll just bring him in before, just on cue. Here he is. This is Aaron,
my man.
From Forever Doncaster Rovers FC. All right, Aaron.
Ryan, turn your phone.
Turn your phone.
Yeah, it's on charge. It's on charge. That's why. But right. Yeah, I was on the EFL show on the First 11 channel. So I was talking with a Plymouth fan and Charlie, believe it or not, right on cue.
There we are. Yes, this is Charlie, Bristol Rovers fan as well. Just for anybody who's just tuning in.
Charlie.
Aaron from Forever DRFC and Charlie from One Rovers Vlogs, who's a Bristol Rovers fan. So
I thought he was a Bristol City. I thought he was a Bristol City fan.
I knew there'd be a Bristol Rovers, Bristol City war reference in there somewhere.
Yeah, so come on, what's the feeling in Doncaster then, Aaron, at the moment? Because surely, I've spoken to Dap a lot, and he loved Darren Moore. Are you the same? You actually loved him. Great manager. You've got a chance of promotion. You're up there, and he's gone. What a time to leave.
As soon as the ship is steered off track, we look like we're about to sink in the seven seas. And it's just a case, really, of we need a new captain to steer us back on course for Land Ahoy. And, I think with Darren Moore, it was just a case of leaving for the job, not staying, not being loyal to get us back on track. And he actually came out and said, compared to the past, I've left this club in a good position. We're still in the promotion hunt. Butler's going to do a good job. So it's not like McCann, where he sort of didn't take us up and he's not stayed to do it, try and do it again. He left us in a good position. He decided I was fed up with the speculation. It was time to move on, which, I don't appreciate, but I'm not going to be one of those fans that wishes the hell of earth on Darren Moore. I'm going to say, you know what, Darren Moore, I wish you could have stayed. It would have been nice for you to stay and finish the job instead of leaving it half-assed done. But you know what? Good luck, Darren Moore. Good luck at Sheffield Wednesday, and we'll see you as we go up, as you go down. But
you're not going up. No, Doncaster are not going up. There's no chance.
No, I'll tell you why I'm going. I'll tell you why I think we're going up. No, Andy Butler is now going to be taking 10. And you need to hear me out to explain all the details from the article. Andy Butler is now going to be taking temporary charge until the end of the season. Andy Butler's going to be he's possibly given the permanent role next season as well if he does a good job. If we do go up, though, I don't see Butler staying as manager. I think we're going to be still getting a brand new managerial strategy and managerial department in the club next season. And looking at why I think we could still go up, Butler is inside the club, inside and out. He's got the knowledge to know what we need to do. And his first statement, as soon as he was confirmed as manager, his first statement was, I will do everything in this club. Darren Moore didn't say that when he came in. He said, I'll do as best I can. I'll do what I can.
Right.
Butler's first statement is, I will do everything I can for this club. He's got the energy and he's got the loyalty to stay with it. And whether he's managed next season or not, is another story for next season. But in my personal opinion, if we do go up next season, for this season, going into next season, then the manager, there's a few managers that I want to see. Yeah. Danny Cowley is my favourite choice. And there's other names being mentioned, and you might laugh. You might laugh before you when you hear them. But a name that's been mentioned by a few Rovers fans is Frank Lampard, and I think a few Chelsea fans.
One Rovers, has he been drinking? Has he been drinking?
Drinking.
Who's next going to bring in? Wayne Rooney next time.
Just looking at the table here, Aaron. You're Doncaster at a 6th. You played 28 with 49 points. Now you've dropped the last 2. You've lost the last 2, haven't you? You were in a really. I thought you were in a very strong position. You're now Peterborough.
We lost 4 out of 5. Yeah, 2
games in hand on Peterborough. And you're now 12 points
4
behind.
on Hull.
Right? So you can't catch them. You've got 2 games in hand on Lincoln. They've got 57 points. So you're 8 points behind them. You can't catch them either. You can catch Hull because Hull have played. You've got 4 games in hand on Hull. Portsmouth, you've got 2 games in hand on, and they're on 52. So you can go past Portsmouth.
Yeah. But to be fair, what I will say is. To be fair, but also it depends on other results as well, because Hull can drop points, Lincoln can drop points, Peterborough can drop points unexpectedly as well. But what I will say, just to continue my point, is I said Danny Cowley's my favourite. A few fans messaged, even a Chelsea fan came to me and said, you know what, Frank Lampard would be good for experience and to get experience after the screw up at Chelsea. And you mentioned Wayne Rooney. But his assistant, Liam Rosenwar, I've had Brighton fans messaging me saying, you know what, he's been rising through the ranks at Brighton and Derby. I think Liam Rosenwar could be a good number 1 in the future. So if you're going to go for a gamble or a risk, Liam Rosenwar is going to be a risk. So Liam Rosenwar's on the list.
No,
Danny Cowley's on the list. Paul Cook's on the list. Paul Cook's on the list if he doesn't go to Ipswich. Frank Lampard's somewhere along the lines, but I don't think it's possible, but it'd be nice. And another name that's been there's a couple of names that I'm not happy about that's been tossed about, and that's Phil Parkinson and Paul Lambert, and that's 2 names I'd want to stay away from. Paul Higginbottom.
Wait, stop there. Wait, stop there.
Good evening. We've been waiting for him for a while. Jake is here. What a man.
Right on cue.
Oh, we've now got Sheffield Wednesday in the house. We're buzzing now. So we've got Sheffield Wednesday who are buzzing. They've got Darren Moore.
You got our assistant manager as well. Mate, I was going to say, your manager, Nottingham Forest fan, it's Chris Hughton, right?
My name is Mr. Dore, not Nottingham Forest fan. Get it right, eh?
Mr. Dore.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Dore, get it right. Not Nottingham Forest fan. Come on.
Nottingham Forest fan. No. But you said Chris Hughton's your manager.
Right.
He's a name that's been mentioned by someone. Would he be a good manager at this level?
Chris Hughton ain't leaving Forest.
Because he got a job at Nottingham Forest.
Right. Lee, you know, before we get people on, tell him just don't drink before he comes stage, man.
I know. He's obviously been drowning in sorrows today. I think that's
Aaron, what have you been drinking? What?
No. I've been looking at the odds. To be fair, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been looking at what people are saying on social media. They've been saying the same names that I've been saying right now. And I've been looking at the odds from last year after Grant McCann left. And there was names being mentioned like Simon Grayson, Mark Cooper. There was David Flitcroft mentioned. There was Roy Keane, who was one of the early favourites, and I know I deserve that.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Aaron,
that's all we can say. Aaron,
you're not going to get a big manager. You're not going to get a big manager.
But I'm going for Danny Cowley. I'm going for Danny Cowley or James Coppinger as the manager next season.
Well, Coppinger would be a manager for you when he's been there forever.
Yeah, he's a legend. I think Andy Butler could be getting it permanently next season as well. But I would like Danny Cowley and Nicky Cowley in the club because they play the 4-2-3-1 like Moore's played. They're very wing orientated. Their off the ball progression is very aggressive in a pressing style. I've looked through the analysis of Cowley's play style, so I think he could walk into this club with the players he's got. He's very pace orientated as well, so we've got loads of pacey wingers he can work with. So I think Cowley would be my obvious choice, but I wouldn't. If the unrealistic becomes realistic, I wouldn't be against Frank Lampard or Thierry Henry.
Jay, what's happening with Sheffield Wednesday, man? Talk to us, man.
Just please shower me with negativity.
Here we go. Money talk.
Takeover incoming on Wednesday.
Jake, before you start, right? You've been on this channel for, I don't know, since the start of the season, and you have had a good thing to say about Sheffield Wednesday. They're a nightmare of a club. They're in disarray. There's problems here, there, and everywhere. Why would Darren Moore, why would any manager watching this podcast go to Sheffield Wednesday? Because you've
be prepared for no plan B.
Saturday, we're down, bunch of gutless, spineless team. They were 2-0 up with and lost 3-2.
I'll be honest. I was in bed when this happened this morning. I was meant to have a rest today. I wasn't meant to do anything Sheffield Wednesday based. So I'm slightly annoyed. But
you're annoyed.
No, I am because I wanted a rest. I had enough to talk about Wednesday for the weekend. We were winning 2-0 and we lost 3-2 because our defenders defend like school children.
I did read the comment that you put. You were absolutely devastated with him on. So why would he go to? Why would any manager choose Sheffield Wednesday as a club?
I don't know.
Money.
Because he thinks Doncaster Rovers is a stepping stone to make their career better when we're not. We're a proper football club that gets run the right way. We're not stepping stones for anyone.
Club, you would have kept 2 managers in a row. You've lost them both now to Hull and Wednesday.
It's because when they're in the mud,
Wait, I'll get my popcorn.
It's because when they're in the mud, they don't know how to handle it and they sod off. Grant McCann could have kept us up a second. They could have kept us in the promotion race for a second season running, and he sods off to Hull. Darren Moore goes on a bad run of games for a few games, doesn't know what to do, and sods off to Sheffield.
Hey, you're the club that lost 2 managers in the last 2 seasons. It's not my club. I'd had Doncaster Rovers fan come to me today going, "You stealing our manager." I've gone, No, my club has. I don't have the money to go deal a manager. He's bigger than me. He's 6'2". I don't have a car. He could probably pick me up, throw me into the lakeside, and then get me back out again.
Trust me, Darren Moore wants to go to Sheffield Wednesday because he was tired of the speculation. So I think he was going to go.
There's not a lot of love for Doncaster getting promotion this year, I've got to say, Aaron, in the chat. People seem to be agreeing with Dore on this. You've got
I don't want Doncaster to go because they'll beat us.
Do you want to know my honest opinion on this then?
Yes,
go on.
Yeah.
What's your opinion? Go on.
Shout me with negativity, please.
We're shocked as much as you are, to be honest with you, because we've been looking for a manager. He came out of left field. Now, he got mentioned right at the start when we were looking for managers. He really did. He got massively looked at for that. And I'm quite interested that we didn't go for him then, because I think if we went for him then, it would be a better position. It would have been, he would be able to put his stamp on it. But credit where credit's due with our chairman, he has given him 14 games to get it sorted. You look what he did at West Brom, he nearly saved them. He nearly saved West Brom's left games. So if he can come in here and really...
Sorry, Jake.
But if he can come in here and fix the problems we've got at the moment, everything he said today on all the press conferences and all the stuff he said is the right thing for right now. You're saying he hasn't got a plan B. Well, when we had our caretaker, we didn't have a plan B. But if you're saying you don't have a plan B, you obviously did have a plan B when you played Hull because you managed to get it back to 3-3. And you should have won that game. We changed the tactic.
Wow. Well, to be fair,
were you losing in that game? Yes or no?
We were 3-1 down at half time.
Right.
Yeah, it was the fact that we
to go to a different plan B. So he does have a plan B. You're just obviously not used to seeing it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's the way we defend set pieces as well. Ever since that Tom Anderson injury at Fleetwood, we couldn't defend set pieces, and we came out with the same tactic.
For us, we can't defend them to save our life. So we're fine.
No, I mean, we came out with the same tactics to defend set pieces, even though we conceded 7 headed goals in a week. We came out with the same defensive set piece tactics, and they didn't change.
Minutes in your back four.
Yeah, we've got a former Burnley player and a former Huddersfield player. So, and anyone in the comments thinking I need drug tests, I've never touched a drug in my life. I've never been drunk in my life. So you need to be checking your Bibles in your libraries.
It's hard to believe tonight with all this.
It come out of left field, really, for us.
It feels like the world is just crumbling around me, for goodness sakes. I just hope we can get...
I'm from Doncaster. I managed to leave. It does feel like that at times.
I just hope tomorrow becomes a better day and we can please some Southampton fans tomorrow.
It won't. Because the problem you've got to make sure Butler has that bounce back ability you need. And it's all you all saying, let's have Jane Coppinger. If I were Jane Coppinger, I don't manage a club I've been at the club for years. I just go be an ambassador or a coach and by behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I
think that's
a
sensible. That's a sensible idea because you don't want to ruin
FC.
that legacy at the club. But I think with Andy Butler, it's just like I said. Butler came out and said, "I'll do everything for this club. I'll do everything for this football club." And Darren Moore didn't say that particular statement when he came 18 months ago. So it was sort of like a bit of a change in statements.
Yeah, but to be fair, 18 months ago, he came at a point where he could build something and get things going. More coming to us. He's literally number one goal right now. He keep us up. If he keeps us up, and I bet you any money, he's been told, you keep us up, great, because he's got more games to do that in. It's not like he's taking us over with, not again. We're only 6 points away. We go on that run with you.
And I expect Sheffield Wednesday to get new owners as well. I expect Darren Moore to stay at a club where they're going to get a takeover and they're going to get some investment to try and get them back up to the Premier League.
I have heard that there's some sort of investment maybe coming to the club, but with the owner still there, but with a possibility over some point down the line. But my thing is, Darren Moore's obviously seeing this as and yes, he has used you as a stepping stone, but at the same time, it's not a big risk if he keeps us up. If he keeps us up, he's then a championship manager again with a good budget. If you
and to be fair, if we get promoted with Andy Butler to the Championship, then it's not been. We look at it and say, well, hang on a minute. Maybe letting him go was ruthless with the fact that we're still in the race for top 6, minimum top 2, or maximum top 2. Sorry, minimum top 6. If we let him go and then we get promoted anyway, maybe we could look on that and say, well, hang on a minute. It is a ruthless decision, but it did kind of work in the long term. It wasn't much of a gamble.
Yeah, but you're saying it's
going to be hard.
Hang on, you're saying it's a ruthless decision. You didn't make the decision. He did. Your club said he could talk to someone who was higher up. And let's also remember, we paid you. We gave you money. Sheffield Wednesday never take a manager that didn't work. Ever.
No, we got the 6-figure sum of compensation. We got a bit of pity money.
No, yeah, but the situation you're in terms of League 1 and League 2, that pity money could help you 6 months down the line keep the club afloat. So
yeah, I don't think we're in an administration point. I don't think we're in a point where we're going to get into administration, but we're not exactly the most richest club in the world. Yeah,
but if you think about it, Darren Moore could have said, you know what, I'll just resign, and you got no money. So he's managed to get you some cash when there's no fan coming in. That's where you need the money at the minute.
Yeah, and I'm not broadcasting from a secure unit, by the way. I'm broadcasting from my Doncaster Rovers bunker.
What, Cantley?
I'm being protected by the bombs coming down from rivals.
So Digimon says that Donny will be able to see more again next season anyway, because both clubs will be in League 1, so they are. So
Thank you.
Championship. He got 14 games. 14 games and we're only 6 points adrift. If we get a run going, we'll be fine.
I'm going to John Smith's out the fridge tonight. Don't you worry about that.
Oh dear! Right.
This feels like the apocalypse today. It feels like all of my talk. As soon as I said Ben Whiteman was going to stay, he went. I said Darren Moore's going to stay to the end of the season. He goes. Can I just not predict things anymore? Can I just not predict we're going to get relegated?
Probably a wise decision. Quickly, just to give you two guys a rest. We've not spoken about this to Charlie yet. He's a Bristol Rovers fan. Somebody was asking in the comments. I'll just go back to asking about what do you think of Joey Barton at the moment. So, what do you think?
Yeah, obviously got his first win as manager. One of our best performances of the season.
Yeah,
football's quality should have been. Honest truth, it should have been 3 or 4-0. Shrewsbury had one shot on target, which was their goal in the 89th minute or 91st minute. We were good, and hopefully it can continue and we can get out of the mess we're in. Obviously, a big game against Burton Albion away tomorrow, one of the informed sides in the league.
You probably know as well that the last game of the season is
Blackpool away.
Blackpool. So that could be a really important game at both ends of the table. We might be trying to get in the playoffs, and you maybe. I think you'll get out. I said it at Christmas when we played you and you beat us. I thought you were better than where you were, and I think you've got a chance to get out there, which is a worry for Ben. Of Cod's vlogs. He's down there. He's getting slowly dragged into it, isn't he?
Yeah, they're quite struggling, aren't they?
They
missed a penalty, last minute penalty at the weekend. So, yeah.
I think somebody was asking you as well, Dore, just to bring you in. Somebody was asking about this. Lyle Taylor.
No, I'm here.
Yeah. What do you think of Lyle Taylor?
He's not been given a chance. He's not been given a chance at all. Since we had Glenn Murray come in, he's getting like 15 minutes there, 10 minutes there. Not really given a chance. I think I like him because I like the way he plays, but he's not getting a chance. But with Lewis Grabban injured, he might start tomorrow because Glenn Murray he can't play every single game. So hopefully. He gets a game tomorrow against Luton because we should win Luton tomorrow, but I don't know. The beats.
I was going to ask you, Dore. I was going to ask you about Lyle Taylor. Would you consider selling him in the summer? Would you consider selling him in the summer if Murray and Grabban take up most of his game time?
No.
No, they won't sell him. You've only just got him, haven't you? It's his first season.
I prefer to get rid of Grabban.
Grabban makes more sense.
Yeah, because Grabban, as everyone knows, he sulks a lot.
He's probably on a lot of money as well, isn't he, Graben?
And I think he's
an experienced player as well.
And he wants to go anyway. And he hasn't played for the last 2 or 3 games. So
does want to go in the summer?
He wanted to go in January, but he didn't go. So.
Right. Well, I wonder who was linked to Graben, because I think there must have been like some other Championship clubs, or maybe there was some League One clubs linked to him, or do you think it was higher up?
No, it was
a Newport County, wasn't it, Dore?
Oh, don't talk stupid. Don't talk stupid. What was it? Sam Lemucci's side in Kuwait. Lemucci wants him. So he wants
be a good bit of money for him.
Yeah, he wants his last payday. That's what he wants. But,
I reckon he could get $1 million or 2 from at best.
No, it won't.
How much is he? How old is he now? 34, 35?
34.
Is he 34, is he?
Send him to Scotland. He scored dozens of goals in Scotland. Send him to Hearts. Not
Celtic. Send him at Celtic.
Send him to Celtic.
No, stick a tail with Celtic. Boring.
Celtic are in trouble. Maybe Graben can help Matt with that experience.
Right, stop with the nonsense about Celtic are in trouble. I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. They're not in trouble. Why are they in trouble?
Maybe, we'll go to Peter. Why would Celtic be in trouble? You tell
Peter,
us.
They're not in trouble.
Financially, they're not in trouble as far as I
know. More how they're
having this really, really bad. With Neil Lennon, I think they've not got bad players. You don't turn a bad player overnight. And I think mentally they've gave up. How can you have one of the best strikers in the league sitting on the bench with Lee Griffiths?
Yeah.
You can't do things like that.
Yeah.
When you're playing Christie as a striker, last week when he played Ross County, the chances Christie missed, if Lee Griffiths was on that pitch, he would have bagged him.
I have crazy.
My own personal feelings about Lee Griffiths, I don't like the guy as a person, but as a player, he's one of the best strikers in the league. And why he's sitting on a bench, I don't know.
I have a feeling
I think he's a wonderful talent.
I have a funny feeling he's on the bench due to, by the sounds of it, what a lot of people said. It's a mixture of attitude. It's a mixture of off-the-field situations. He got himself back to being great and fine off the field. But he goes on those periods where he forgets that he's a footballer and he's got to set an example.
Well, he turned up for pre-season unfit, overweight, and allegedly, obviously, what goes on behind the scenes, I don't know. And I think there's been a personal clash, whether it's been physical, whether it's just been verbal, I don't know, between him and Lennon. Lennon's the sort of manager where I think outside football would be a lovely guy to go for a drink with, but as a manager, I think he's out his depth.
I was going to say, I did see a comment earlier. I did see a comment from earlier saying that Neil Lennon could be
when he was with Bolton and when he was with Hibs, he didn't do a great deal.
No, it was bad, wasn't it?
So
I'll let Dore have his bet go.
Right, can I say about Neil Lennon? You mentioned Neil Lennon is not a good manager, but how many cups has he won for Celtic?
Yeah, there's no disputing the amount of trophies he's been successful.
So how can you change your mind saying he's not good enough now?
The difference is, with Lennon, it's a case of he'd been there too long. He was only meant to be the caretaker, and then he got the job. And he got the job because he knew what was happening. He was meant to get this 10 in the row, which he's now mucked up. And it's that whole thing. They keep going back to people they used before, and there's never a change. It always seems to be Lennon, then someone else, then Lennon. And they need to get out of that cycle now.
I think the expectations weighed quite heavily on Neil Lennon. I did see a comment earlier from someone saying Neil Lennon to Doncaster. Would I take Neil Lennon at Doncaster? Based on the trophies he's won at Celtic, it would be great if we had like a trophy-winning manager. But on the other hand, what he's done at Celtic this season in terms of he's way out of his depth this season, would I go through that same cycle again in terms of the runs of defeats and draws? Would I be able to handle that? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So it's a bit 50-50 with Neil Lennon. And also, would he want to come to Doncaster from Celtic, who is competing in Europe? Probably not.
Yeah, but to be fair, I actually think Neil Lennon's time doing anything football.
Again?
Sorry.
Muted.
Your sound went.
Sorry. I'm clicking
come back to your point, Dore. You're spot on with regards to the amount of trophies that he's won for the last few years. But add in the fact that Rangers were trying to build themselves up for the last few leagues in the few years. Also, they didn't have the sort of challenge from Rangers. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the pressure with Neil Lennon. I really don't know. It could be. It might not be. But things behind the scenes at Celtic are not.
They're not great.
They're not great.
I think it was the pressure of this, trying to get obviously the 10 in the row.
I don't think it's
he's made bad decisions. He's made bad decisions.
Factor, though. I think Rangers could be a factor in Celtic's sort of disarray on the pitch and maybe off the pitch as well. I think I give credit to Stevie G and what he's done with Rangers, but I think that, I think to top it all off, if Celtic were to lose the title to Rangers at Parkhead in a couple of games' time, it would probably be one of the most embarrassing moments in their history. So they need to fix up big time, whether it's getting Brendan Rodgers back or getting a new manager in.
Brendan Rodgers back.
Come on,
that'll never happen. He used Celtic as a stepping stone.
Leicester need to keep in the top four and Rodgers is going to box there, that's right.
Yeah, but he's not going back to Celtic. If he goes anywhere, go for a big club. He's not leaving Leicester City. Come on. That's mental.
No, he used Celtic as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
To get a better job.
Like Darren Moore used us as a stepping stone.
Like a fantastic coach. What didn't help Celtic as well, or Neil Lennon this season, was the amount of players he openly said wanted to leave the club. Edward, Christie. He's got players there that are not playing for the jersey. When you think back to ex-Celtic players, they bled green and white. They fought for it. They might not play well, but they gave 110%.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think he had his hands tied behind his back with some part of the season as well with the players.
I think Lennon's had that situation where he's done the best he could considering the restraint. Look, they're just about to get rid of their chief executives who've been poor for many, many years now. And anytime Desmond has had to do any kind of work, he's had to come step back in and take over, do his job, sack him and then give it back to him. I think for Celtic, it's a scary situation for them because we all could see Rangers were getting better. Celtic, on the other hand, didn't.
It's like Celtic were going a repetitive cycle, and it felt like the manager situation. I think that they need to break that cycle and stick with someone that's going to be good for the long term. Because, like it was with the managerial cycle, Lennon, new manager, Lennon, new manager, Lennon, and it's like the chief executive decision again, same one every odd year from a new one. So it did feel like that Celtic needs a whole rebrand of change, and like I said, they're going to have to. It's going to take a good couple of years now to compete with Steven Gerrard and Rangers.
Yeah, they do. Dore, they do. What? Dore.
Oh, I can't believe what I'm here. I'm just listening to what everyone's saying about.
Yeah, but it's true though. It's
true. Dore, they've got a lot of players on loan. They've got a lot of players that want to leave. They've got a chief executive leaving. They've got a manager leaving. What's not a rebuild there? Why do you think that's a rebuild?
Unless you bring in Rafael Benitez,
that's a massive job. One, they should bring in that chief executive right now. Two, they need a manager in right now. John Kennedy is an interim manager. They need a manager in now to hit the ground running for next season.
Yeah.
Also, remember,
this is a massive job.
Remember, Lennon was an interim manager.
Yeah. And I would only name two managers that could probably get Celtic back to winning trophies again.
Ooh.
Eddie Howe and Rafael Benitez.
Good shout. Listen to me. Anyone could be like, no disrespect to Celtics fans, but
anyone could be Celtic manager.
Lambert, you watch.
And to be fair, Eddie Howe and Rafael Benitez were two names that Donny fans were naming today. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Eddie Howe and Rafael Benitez at Doncaster? It's like saying Frank Lampard. I wish. But like I said, Eddie Howe's got a good... With assistant manager Jason Tyndall, he could bring Celtic back. And again, with Rafael Benitez, bring that European mentality to Celtic again and get them competing with Steven Gerrard. And that comment says down there, Gerrard could be using Rangers as a stepping stone. I kind of agree with that in a way, because I think that Steven Gerrard could go on to take over from Klopp at Liverpool. But with Gerrard at the minute, I'm just enjoying what they're doing with Rangers.
He's doing wonders, isn't he, up there, Peter?
So, yeah, he's doing a great job. But I'm interested to hear what Dore's thinking. It's not a rebuild.
They've won 9 in a row in the league.
That's in the past.
Yeah, but
that's in the past.
Yeah.
What have they done this season? That's the past, though.
We're in the league.
Sorry?
We're
second.
Okay, that's
Celtic. They're second.
They are a lot of points behind, though. I think they're like 18 points behind.
Right,
so
it just seems like
the
way.
I'll tell you what, just 1 second, guys. Just can you mute your mics if you're not talking, and then because everybody's talking over each other, and so we just let people talk.
It's just the way. Like saying like you keep saying Celtic, I need rebuilding, but you're second in the league. Rangers are doing fantastic. Like, I don't understand. Like, no, I just let Rangers. Rangers.
No, I know what you're saying, Dore. Like most clubs would be happy with second, but it's different up there.
It feels like
it's really just a 2-horse race. The Scottish division.
No, exactly. And that's my problem. It's a 2-horse race, and the way everyone's talking, it seems like Celtic are in 5th or 6th or bottom 3. That's how it seems. Like I don't see, Lennon. Everyone can say about this and that about Lennon, but the way everyone's talking about.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
If Rangers or Celtic don't become, if they don't come first, they may as well come 5th or 6th.
Yeah, but
because nothing else matters.
Exactly.
But only one club can come. Only one club can come first. They can't both come first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think Celtic's winning mentality over the last few years, whether it's under Brendan Rodgers or Neil Lennon, it seems I think there's a lot of expectations that's been placed on.
Right, people comment.
Dropped. I feel like the pressure's just dropped.
Put it in the comments below.
I'm confused.
If you think Celtic need a rebuild job, or whether it's just a case of it's just one of those seasons this season, and
it is. Everyone has that season. Everyone has a season. They'll have Celtic, not playing fantastic. But come on, like I think when Lennon came back, he won the triple. Like,
yeah, Celtic can improve. I think they'll rebuild.
Like literally, this season. Like they've been bad a lot of the season. There's, like you said, there's been players don't want to be there. Too many loans. Lennon making wrong decisions. I'm not sure.
Players.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm not sure, obviously, how much you see of that league, but it's massive. It's massive between them two. And when one team has a bad season with all of those problems, stuff needs to change for sure.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just my opinion about. I don't understand. Like, I think it's always going to be a 2-horse race, because when when was it? I think when Livingston or Hearts took over, and I thought Hearts will be the team that can get close to Rangers and Celtic. But I
agree with you. I agree with you, and I think that, like I said, I think there's 2 managerial departments that I think could transform Celtic and get them competing with Rangers and what they're doing at the minute, and that is Eddie Howe or Rafael Benitez, because they've got that winning mentality that they've brought to their own clubs. So I think, me personally, I would go with Rafael Benitez, because I think he's the one man that could compete with Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, but that involves. I still think he's going to get a Premiership job. I think it's still a bridge too far for Rafa Benitez. Eddie Howe, on the other hand, he could do, again, a Brendan Rodgers and use it as a stepping stone to get another job. The problem with the Celtic job is very, very simple. There's a lot of people who... one of the things you've got to understand, though, this 10 in a row is a massive humiliation to Celtic. And don't get me wrong, I get your point and everything, but Celtic needed a rebuild for the last 2 seasons, pretty much. And
why?
Because wait. Because they had Rodgers, and Rodgers wanted to do the rebuild when he was there. The first season when Edwards looked like he was going, he didn't get the funds, and he went when Leicester came knocking. Now, when Leicester came, Celtic were in a big problem because they got Neil Lennon. He was available. They took him. He went and did well. The problem is they then kept a manager who'd been there so long. And then Lennon has been given a bit of the fund to rebuild, but not what they need. Like, you look at what they've done, and you look at when they get rid of players, they normally get them on for big wages. And the other big thing is Celtic can't do their usual model, which have been for the last couple of seasons. They're getting like these unknown players from different countries due to Brexit. Brexit has really hampered their recruitment. Big deal. And you've got to realise, for Celtic, this season is the most embarrassing season they will ever have. Ever. If they lose,
I think this season, I think this season is probably going to cause the exit of the likes of Odsonne Edouard and Oliver Entersham. I think they're going to exit the club this summer. I think that's because of the season they've had.
Right, so you know, last season, when Celtic won the league, how many points are Rangers in front of Celtic now?
18, I think they are now.
Points.
Right, so now,
yeah.
So last season, when Celtic won the league, how many points was they in front of Rangers?
Last season.
Yeah, last season. Because I want to know, like, if Celtic won, like, I don't know, if it was 20 or 25 points in front, why is, like, how long has Gerrard been there?
Who? Again?
Gerrard. How long has he been there?
2 years
now?
2 years now.
Yeah, this is his 2.5 years, yeah.
No, last season, though, Celtic won the title on 80 points and Rangers won 67. They blew them out of the water.
It was like
this season.
It's just like this season. Like
this season, it's 82 to Rangers and 67 to Celtic. Now, the difference is Rangers have a structure in place. They have something in place. Now, Celtic are back rebuilding their structure. One of the big things Celtic have been very good at over the years is promoting youth. You have a lot of youth team players now who do not want to be there and they're jumping ship. The big one is Jeremy Frimpong. The fact that they've lost a talent like that to Germany is huge. They are normally known as the club that will buy cheap, sell high. But when you can't then reinvest that money wherever you want, that's where you struggle. And I think that's where they struggle with recruitment this year. And Rangers, fair play to them, they took last year as a massive kind of, right, we're going to do what you did to us then. And remember, there's still more games to play. And you've got to also remember, last season, the season got cut short. So it could have been anyone's.
Absolutely.
It's my opinion. I don't get the where like Celtic could be in.
And I think if the likes of Edouard and Entersham leaving the summer, the best thing they're going to have to do to try and rebuild the squad is to use the youth. So I know we've got one of their youth, Scott Robertson, and they're going to have to start running through these youth players if they're going to keep improving and keep bringing in the next generation of Celtic stars. So it also depends on what the manager wants to do, depending who that is, whether it is a Eddie Howe or a Rafael Benitez or someone like that who could come into this Celtic setup and create this youthful and experienced vibe. And, maybe some players that might want to leave in the summer might turn their heads and do a U-turn if it depends on the right manager that manages them in the right way. So it's going to be, this is Celtic. If I was to give a statement, that the marquee statement would probably be that this is this summer is going to be the most crucial summer in Celtic's modern day history, because this is what we now see of the Celtic way. This is what we'll see the best of if they want to compete with Rangers and see what they can do against Steven Gerrard, because right now Rangers are competing at the top level again like they were back in the earliest days, like 10 years ago or so. Before they had that administration, they're finally competing back at the top of Scottish football. So, and they're competing in Europe as well. So Celtic want to be back at the top and competing in European levels as well. They're going to need to rebuild. And like I said, this is the most crucial summer for Celtic, because they're going to need a new manager, a complete rebuild, and try and compete with Steven Gerrard now.
They'll be fine. That's me. You'll be fine.
Luke Turton saying to you, Dore, that every season is technically a rebuild. We should know this at Forest. You rebuild the season.
We've been rebuilding for the last 23 years.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody does bring in new players and stuff. I just wanted to just change it slightly. Does anybody heard about this? Sean P saying, what do we think about the Barcelona raid and arrest?
Yeah, crazy.
I got a notification on that.
Sounds almost.
I've not heard someone talking about it.
Tell us about it, if you've heard about it.
I said weeks ago that EFL was a corruption in football. This is a corruption in football. This is.
What's happened then? What's going on at Barcelona? What is it? I know they're millions in debt, aren't they? They're incredible.
Yeah.
They're like a billion. They're like $1 billion in debt, aren't they? Something. Yeah. Some ridiculous amount. So what's happened with the arrests? I mean, we've had this already, haven't we? With Italian football in particular, but now it's obviously in Spain. But I think a lot of the European clubs saw all the money that was going into the Premier League, and they all started, all the prices for players were going up, and all of a sudden we had £250 million transfers. And I just thought they were all chasing this Premier League money, and they're all trying to get it, get their hands on it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been working for them. I don't think it's worked as well as they hoped.
I think money's been a big issue in making top-level football top level for a good number of decades now. And I think that with the top clubs, I think finally, now it's been mismanaged. I think that money at the top level of football's been coming back to bite them on the backside, which is obviously the lower league clubs need money to help them and survive. But I think the greedy clubs are now starting to get their karma in a way.
Well, I know somebody was pointing me towards this book that's written about the finances in football. I think there's only about 3 or 4 teams in the Premier League that actually make any money. The rest are running just are just
losing
spending, and they're getting I mean, they're all getting 100. What is it now? I don't know if it's still 115 million.
It's got to be like millions or something like that. Like Man U was bought on debt. Arsenal are in debt. I'm sure Chelsea will be in some form of debt. I think Spurs might be on debt. So, like you said, there's about 3 or 4 Premier League teams.
Is it 115 million still, or has it gone up since then? I don't know the Premier League, but how you can get that money every year and not...
It's probably gone up by now. I think Man City might be the only big team that's probably not in debt because they've got the owners that they've got.
Even Man City are in debt.
They're losing debt.
Yeah, I know they had that European ban that they escaped because of their sponsorship rights, but I think that was just not debt paid.
To be fair, find a club that's not in debt.
Exactly. Everyone's in debt. Everyone's in debt.
Have Bury paid off their debts yet?
That mean.
Has Bury paid off their debts yet, or are they still owned by that Steve Dale guy?
Can't laugh at that.
Can't laugh at that. Come on.
No, I'm joking. It's not. It's not funny.
You're not by Steve Dale yet. You meant that.
No.
You meant that is horrible.
No, it's.
Can we see about a different topic? Next topic about what about the referee? This VAR, the West Brom.
Mate. Oh my god!
Tell us all about
it. The worst bit of refereeing I've seen in this country.
I can't believe
what happened then, Dore? Talk us through it.
Did you not see it, Lee?
No, I've not seen it.
Oh my!
Twice in 1 week this happened.
You missed a historic moment in football.
Blowing their whistle.
Was this with Sam? Big fat Sam. This thing.
Yeah, basically, West Brom were playing Brighton, and the players ready to kick it. So the referees blow it, and straight away, the Brighton guys shot and scored, and he's blew it again, saying, "No, I didn't blow the whistle, but he did blow the whistle."
Right.
So it took like I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, thinking, "What is happening?" Like the Brighton players are fuming because said, "You've blown the whistle, so I've took the free, I've took it, and they've scored from it." And 10 minutes. No, so they had to retake it and couldn't save it. So
shocking.
The referee was absolutely shocking.
That wasn't the only moment. That wasn't the only moment because I've seen on social media today
where he disallowed one, then allowed it, and then disallowed it again. Was the one where he went back on himself.
They allowed it and then disallowed it, and then they pretty much said allowed it and then went to VAR and disallowed it because he blew the second whistle before the ball crossed the line, which was kind of his own fault anyway. So Brighton got denied 3 points after that, but that wasn't the only referee moment, by the way. I will just say this: I saw on social media today from the Man U Chelsea match, the 0-0. Luke Shaw ended up overhearing a conversation from the referee. I think it was Harry Maguire that overheard the conversation on Luke Shaw between the referee and Maguire that about the controversial handball that wasn't given. And the referee said to Maguire, the reason why he didn't give it is because they know there'll be a lot of talking points after the match. The referees just think they're in the spotlight, and it's not fair. And it actually makes it unbearable when footballers get abused on social media and nothing's done.
Take it back to what it was.
Yeah. But footballers get abused on social media and hardly anything gets done about it, tracking them down hardly. But when Mike Dean gets death threats and abuse,
well, hang on.
Got a full police investigation on it.
Stop. That's wrong. Because there have been a number of footballers who have been abused, who has had the police involved, and the only difference is it doesn't get mainstream media kept in the club.
No, that's the big thing. It doesn't get reported.
Now, one of the big things I think should happen, I think referees should come out and have their say and say why. It should be a thing. It shouldn't just be players and managers. But when you turn around and saying that players don't get any kind of thing or it does get investigated. We have seen it where players are being racially abused. It had been talked about. It had been investigated. So what you said there is wrong. Mike Dean, yes, it's wrong for Mike Dean to get death threats because he didn't have to take on a football pitch. That is wrong. But at the same time, you can't turn around and say it's one or the other. One gets it and the other, which is wrong. It's not. They both get the same amount of treatment.
I agree with that. I don't think any of them should get abused. And I agree with you with the and I agree with you. The referee should come out and say when they've made mistakes, because I think Lewis Dunk said after the match in the Brighton game with the free kick incident, he said, "Why am I standing here and saying this? Referee should be coming here and explaining himself." And to be fair, I agree with you as well. I don't think some of the players' ones don't get reported on the mainstream media as much as they should do. And I think the players shouldn't be abused and referees shouldn't be abused. But it just seems like there's more reported in the mainstream media on one thing than the other, and that shouldn't be the case.
It's a funny one, isn't it, really? Because, I mean...
I agree with you, though.
This VAR is not helping referees.
It's taking the passion out of football.
I'm so glad Rovers aren't in the Premier League. Honestly, I would have literally given up football by now because I can't stand Premier League. All this VAR and refereeing, it's shocking.
To me, right, let me say something. Right, if Bristol City, Doncaster, Sheffield Wednesday, and Blackpool, you tell me you won't want to be in the Premier League.
No, I wouldn't.
You're lying.
In the Premier League, but I don't know about this VAR.
You're lying.
The money in football, are you having a laugh?
You're lying.
I would have said I wanted to be in the Premier League 20 years ago, but not now.
Right, Jay, would you want Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lee. Would you want Blackpool in the Premier League?
Oh, 100%.
Thank you.
You're lying.
But Peter,
what I'm saying, right, is the money is finished in football. Money is done.
Would you want your Scottish team in the Premier League?
Definitely.
Thank you. Lying. Stop lying.
No, I'm not lying, but
I think the point he's making is VAR is terrible, but they've got to sort VAR out, surely, Charlie.
I agree. I'm not going to lie.
Whoa.
I'm not going to lie. I'll say that
there are a few things about the Premier League you won't like.
No.
There are a few things. You won't like the fact that there's not as many games to watch. You won't like the fact there's not as many 3:00 in the afternoon kickoffs as you like to watch. You won't like the fact that they switch games. It's a Saturday and you've arranged to do something and then they change it to a Sunday. They put it on a Monday night or all these other days that you don't really watch football. And it's when you're in the Premier League, they're very much for the big boys. All the referees, decisions go against you as we experience. And those are the things I didn't like about the Premier League, but I still like being in it. It's fantastic.
With the Premier League, I would have said that I would like to. I think 20 years ago, I would have liked to see them in the Premier League. I would have liked to see them now in the Premier League with the differences in terms of making VAR simpler, better run, because it's not the technology, it's the people running it, and it showed with the referee mistake in the Brighton game and also the conversation in the Chelsea match.
I think it's beyond getting fixed, the Premier League, because money has ruined the game.
Do you think it'd be better if the top six leave?
All these clubs love the money, and the fans love having the big players, the best players in the world, coming to their club. And the reason for they can afford that is because the money that they get.
Would it be better?
Here's
a question.
I said a few weeks ago, yeah.
Would it be better if there was a European League and Rangers and Celtic buggered off into it? United, Chelsea, whoever these top six clubs is it? Would it be better for English football if they did go and play in the European League?
But then the Premier League won't get as much funding as they would do now, and then Premier League becomes another championship.
Let me tell you why.
We're all saying we don't like the Premier League, so would it be better?
Let me tell you why that would be better. It wouldn't be better. The big thing you would have is would have then all the money that's in the Premiership now.
Yeah.
Would go. It would go with that team. So you wouldn't get the eyes on it that you get on it now. They'd all just go, well, what's the Super League? And then you just have a Premiership, Championship where the views are not great.
But would that make English football better? Would it be better? No,
because all the money will have gone out of it, and all the investment and the interest will have gone out of it.
The money in the Premier League is not there.
If they created the Super League, it's only a matter of time before the Premier League becomes the EFL Premiership.
Well, they're all in debt. All the Premier League clubs are in debt. There's not one single. Well, there's about 2 clubs, I think, in the whole of Premier League that are actually making any money. So it might have all this money in the world, but it's not working. It doesn't work.
No. And I think, as Punk says, with the European football, that will get tiered as well. You'll have your elite teams like your Bayern, like your Real Madrid, your Man United. Then you'll have another tier where it could be the second, maybe the second team in France and things like that. And then maybe the third tier you'll have Scottish teams. That'll get tiered as well. So it's. I know a few years ago they were talking about an Atlantic League or whatever the case may be, but
also how do you get that to work in the current situation the world's in with everything that's going on?
Well, I think the European Super League would mean the end of the Champions League, and how could you get rid of the Champions League for one? And also, you could tell it was a bad idea because FIFA actually came out and said they're thinking about banning players from the World Cup if they played in a European competition like that.
Yeah, I don't trust FIFA by throw them, but
they're also bringing in
don't trust FIFA for miles.
No, they're also bringing in another European competition, aren't they?
They are. They've added a new one in to try and get. But I think this is because Arsenal are not going to finish in the top 4. Yeah, they brought a new competition out to make sure that Arsenal get in something in Europe, aren't they? I think that's what it is, because they're not going to make it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting situation. But just to add a bit of positivity on this subject,
go on.
I love spending my Monday evening debating this with you lot. It's brilliant.
Right.
It is good.
I've got a debate here, right? Up in Scotland, Livingston have been a sensation this year, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone know the background to the manager, David Martindale?
Is he the one who had the criminal record?
That's the man.
He wasn't allowed
to
get fit in proper person test, didn't he?
Yeah. 7 years ago. 7 years ago, he went to Livingston as a part-time volunteer, as a coach. He was working on a building site. He would go to train. He would go to the stadium, get out his work clothes, get his football kit on, and coach. That was 7 years ago. He went to jail. I think it was 2006 or something like that. He was in jail for 3 years. for like fraud or money laundering or something.
And now he's back in the club.
How did you get let back in?
Do they just let anyone manage in football these days?
No. He went through, obviously, with the Rehabilitation Act and everything else. And he went through, at every stage, he went through the fit and proper test. And he went through his coaching badges and everything else. Now he's a manager of Livingston Football Club, who were in the League Cup final yesterday. What a story.
It is a
That's
story.
crazy, that is.
I mean, it's a story.
I'm very surprised.
Now the guy didn't have a good footballing career.
No.
He got released by Rangers and I think it was Motherwell at youth level. He didn't have a... But...
It's crazy.
I mean, there must have been questions at that time about the fit and proper persons test, and like the fit and proper persons test in English football right now.
I think at every stage it was cleared. He had to clear it with the club, right? They agreed it. And also, because of the lack of funds, it was also the club needed coaches where it was like virtually next to nothing of pay. So that's why he started as a volunteer. And then they had to clear it with the club, but also the sponsors, because these teams rely on sponsorship. They could have been a sponsor that could have turned around and says, look, he's a criminal, he's got a conviction for fraud and whatever, money laundering, we don't want involved. But even the sponsors backed him. It's a fantastic story.
As well, because and I think we've said this. I think I've said this before, and I think many other people must have said this before. With sponsors, for example, we all know that even if we don't like money in the top level at the minute, it feels like money's never going to go away from football. So instead of trying to get rid of it, we're just going to have to evolve with it and bring in bigger sponsorships into lower leagues and show what the lower leagues can do compared to just the Premier League. Because I think the non-leagues deserve more than they get. I think the lower leagues deserve more than they get, and I think we're not going to we're not going to get rid of it. We're going to change with it.
The only way
is it not a coincidence that more teams are getting more and more sponsorship on their shirts?
Yeah, exactly.
You've seen in Sweden, nearly all the shirts are covered in head to toe.
Yeah,
it's trying to find the club badge.
In 15, 20 years, you're going to have a badge that looks like the Shell Garage logo, and you're going to have a sleeve sponsored by Danum Yogurts or something. You're going to have your shorts sponsored by Flaming Honda.
And football boots sponsored by Ronald McDonald.
Let me find the shirt.
I like logos on a shirt, though. I think it looks good. Do you not like logos on a shirt? I think
I don't like betting ones, though. I don't like betting.
But I do like the look of logos.
That's where the money is, though, Dore.
Exactly.
I know.
You're going to have like socks on your legs sponsored by KFC or something.
No, I remember Forrest had one. We had Fawaz as our sponsor.
Don't. We do the same with ours. I hate it.
Yeah, and I did that.
What I absolutely love, though, for our kits this year, there is no middle sponsorship, and I bloody love it.
I love it. I like the new kit, mate. It looks good.
Well, the academy teams, they don't, in their strips, like our training gear, they don't advertise any sponsorship.
Yeah, and compared to lower leagues, we've only got one sponsor, and that's, on this kit it's LNER, but we've only got one sponsor compared to like 3 or 4 on the in the Premier League. So it's that's why I like Punk Sheffield Wednesday kit, because I like that there's no sponsors, and I like how companies like Paddy Power are doing like the Shirts Allowed campaign and trying to get rid of poor sponsorships and things like that.
Let me share my screen. You might double up a minute though.
Just while you do that, Bristol Rovers, Stephen Roberts said, are you aware Joey still has his court case? I think you are in Bristol, aren't you?
Yeah.
When is that?
I'm not actually sure, but if it was that bad, it would have already been done. So I think
it's
have
like
any...
end of the first week, second week in March, something like
that. It's been hanging over him for quite a while. So
I don't have any.
No.
I mean, if there is, then he would have had something in his contract, and surely he wouldn't have signed a 2.5-year deal if he had that. If it was that bad. 100%. So. Yeah.
Hang on.
That's my
there
thoughts.
You go.
Has anyone seen?
I
had to put a second.
Are you sharing it, Jake, or is it coming on your back of your?
Sharing.
Dore, just while they're sharing the screen, do you think that Nottingham Forest will get a good finish this season and not being any kind of relegation fight?
One minute.
Gee.
What's that?
Who's that?
Who's that?
Persa Bandung kit. I don't know what the league. Indonesia. Top flight.
Oh my
God. Is that
God.
in India somewhere?
No,
Indonesia.
Like
logos on shirts. I'm not quite sure if I like that many.
It looks like a sponsored cricket jersey.
World Cup. Fiorentina 97.
With 8
Woody Woodpecker on it. Ryan's just said if you look up for Fiorentina 1997, it's got Woody Woodpecker on it.
Fiorentina.
There you go.
Wow, who's that?
It's in the 90s anyway.
That doesn't look like that. I tell you what, that reminds me of like Formula One.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have a shirt like that. Jeez.
I was going to say the one with the yellow collar looked like a cricket jersey or something, like something you'd wear for a cricket match.
Oh, let's have a look. There's a famous one I know really well. I can't remember if it's Swedish, but it's like everywhere.
Yes, Scandinavian teams are crazy for that.
There you go.
Yeah. That's something I've noticed with Scandinavian football.
Some people
are
really
crazy.
Some people will love it. You know what I mean? They will love it. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't imagine Nottingham Forest or Sheffield Wednesday having like 10 different sponsors on their shirts.
We've got 3. I think we've got 3 sponsors.
I think 3 sponsors.
We technically got
3.
I think how many we got.
Is that like a shirt sponsor, a club sponsor, and a mascot sponsor or something?
No, there's one.
The one in the middle there, the one with the white.
One there, one on the sleeves, and one on the back.
Right.
So,
we've got like short sponsors as well now. Have you got sports back of the short, sports back of the short?
Yeah, we're gonna end up having crest sponsors, and I think even at Donny, we've had player sponsors. We've got local companies sponsoring our players.
Yeah, that's normal. I think the player sponsors, especially in the programs.
That one.
Yeah.
That's standard. That is.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I'd hate to have it.
Who's everyone got the street then? Who's everyone got the street then?
Corinthians in Brazil.
Who is that?
Corinthians in Brazil.
Right.
But if you think about it, down there, they need the massive sponsorship to keep everything going.
Yeah, because they're not even in FIFA.
Look at an idea if you had international teams with sponsorship.
I'd hate to have loads of sponsors.
It doesn't. There's a fine line between good and just like too many, isn't there? You know what I mean? It's just too many on them, and you wouldn't really want to.
I can't remember
the BT circle on it.
There was I believe it's Swedish. I think they counted. They had like 32 sponsors on the shirt and shorts.
Wow.
And I think they had one on the socks.
That's crazy.
Anyway, lads, I need to get going.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Peter.
Been great once again.
Much appreciated, man.
Have a nice night, guys. Have a good week.
Scottish Army.
Cheers. Who's everyone got this week then?
We've got Rotherham on Wednesday, and then we've got Reading on Saturday.
6 points. That's 6 points for you, though.
We've got Crew on Tuesday, and we've got AFC Wimbledon on Saturday, both at home, both home games this week. We've got 19 games to go, and I think we've got 13 of them are at home. So we've had so many games cancelled at home. So and the 12 or 13 games to go. So it's
we've got tomorrow. We've got tomorrow. Luton. We've got Luton tomorrow.
Played well against us, but it wasn't hard. To be fair, first half we absolutely dominated them. Second half we went to sudden crumble.
And I think Luton took advantage of that.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, we got obviously Burton Albion tomorrow. Barton against Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. That should be interesting.
Ooh, yes, it should be. He's turned him around a bit, hasn't he? There.
Yeah. They're one of the most informed teams in the league at the moment. They got 4 wins in the last 5. So
here's a question for you on the sponsorship. What's everyone thoughts of like training gear having sponsorship as well?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, especially
I don't mind that.
Macron though.
If it's extra money coming into the clubs, then fair enough.
I like training gear better than the kits half the time. I like the training gear they have.
Yeah, really good.
Jackets and coats are good as well, and gilets and all that sort of stuff they do. They're really good, aren't they? Because obviously they're made for the managers to be able to sit in those in the dugouts, and they're always quite pretty warm.
Man. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
who have you got, Doncaster?
Well, first of all, I just want to say to people in the comments that thought my berry joke went too far, I do apologise. It's not what happened to Barry, and I didn't mean it. Looking at this week, we've got Portsmouth tomorrow, which should be good because they drop points against Gillingham on Saturday, and then on the Saturday we're coming up against Plymouth, one of our teams we need to get revenge against, and
they're on form.
Out of the next 6 games, I think 4 of them we've won against already, and 2 of them we need to get revenge against, and that's Plymouth and Crewe. So I think those are going to be 6 crucial games for Butler's first 6 games in charge. So it's going to be interesting. But I think next season is going to be the biggest question because we don't know who's going to be the brand new manager. But like I said, I think my money's on Danny Cowley.
Yeah, we got.
It'll be interesting.
Bad like Lampard.
You're not getting.
Sorry, Charlie.
We got
possibly. They're the big thing because they like to build. Go on, Charlie.
Sorry. We got Hull City away, but I'm actually feeling positive because their home form has been pretty bad this season.
It has. It's just a shame that Wigan rolled over for them and let them score 5 to give them a bit of confidence because they really.
I feel so sorry for Wigan. I feel so sorry for them. They haven't got an owner, and they're in a really. I said it on the last stream before I came on here tonight. I said the best thing for Wigan at the minute. If they can escape the relegation zone, great. That's even better. But at the minute, on current form, I think that. If they do go down to League 2, hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll start again with a new owner, a brand new manager, and just like Bolton, go again.
Yeah.
Go on, Charlie. Who we got next after that?
It was Hull. Hull away.
Yeah. So you got Burton Albion and Hull. How about you then? You got your new manager, Jake, Sheffield Wednesday on the rise. Who have you got?
Rotherham.
Oh.
South Yorkshire rival as well.
They're on 29 points. We're on 28 points at home.
At home.
At Wednesday. And our next game is Reading, who are on a really good form. And our former striker Lucas Jow will probably come and go against us. And I'll
yeah.
I will say this, Punk Chef, I will say this. I'm not part of this party or entourage of people, but I will say that every other Doncaster fan is a Rotherham fan against.
It's all Rotherham fans, to be fair, mate.
I'm not. Trust me. I wish the manager good luck in his new job, but I'm going to be humble about it.
This is our run coming up. We've got Rotherham, Reading, Norwich, Barnsley.
Ooh.
Another game.
Barnsley, the biggest surprise package of the season.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. If he can go on the run he had at Donny before they went off, we're safe. That's why I look at it. He goes on that run, we're safe. And I think as long as he can get our defence sorted, we'll be fine. We're scoring, we're just defending like crap.
Yeah, and if you can make, I mean, before the run of 4 or 5 without a win, if you can make a defensive shape out of our defenders like Tom Anderson and Joe Wright and Andy Butler when he's playing, he can make a defensive shape out of Sheffield Wednesday. It's just if the players want to play for him.
Players are injured, which hasn't helped, and a lot of them are back 4. Like we've got Kieran Westwood out now for like 6 weeks. He got broken
and that's not helped at all. So I think for Darren Moore, I think the thing he needs to do to turn Sheffield Wednesday season around is to work with the players he's got available, I think create a defensive shape where he needs to create the Tom Andersons and the Joe Wrights out of the Sheffield Wednesday players where you've got strong at the back, holding defenders that are going to absolutely put every part of their body on the line to block a ball. That's what he did with us, and hopefully he does that with your defenders.
I'm not going to lie, Darren Moore excited for me as a manager, but I'm actually more excited about the coaching staff he brought because every Doncaster Rovers player had something very positive to say about him and said
You took our assistant manager. You took our assistant manager as well. It gets even better, doesn't it? I don't know who the third guy is. I know you took our manager and our assistant, but I don't know who the third guy is. I've never seen him in a Rovers training top before.
What's this? Peterborough Army. Sorry, he's been trying all night. We haven't answered him. We've got Oxford away on Tuesday and then Burton away on Saturday. Please answer. Been trying all night. Well, Peterborough are looking really good. They're looking really good.
Jamie Harris,
Lincoln dropped points on the weekend, didn't they? So you're now 4 points clear. Well, on the same games as Lincoln, and you've got 2 games in hand on Hull. Same games.
I've had rival fans this week saying that Peterborough are now going to start walking the lead because of how good they look.
I think they are.
Can I just say something here, though, guys? So just take that comment away a minute, Lee.
Go on.
Why does this photograph make it look like we're doing like a #1 single?
Yeah, look at him there smiling as well. He's just smiling at Aaron.
Who's that?
They're smiling at me, but they don't know my eyes are on fire right now.
Who were the three guys?
Jamie Smith, Paul Williams, and Darren Moore.
Yeah, Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, that's the other guy.
He was a caretaker at Forrest. He was.
Yeah, and just them smiling just makes my eyes go on fire.
Oh,
look at Darren Moore. He's even got a little twinkle in his eye.
It's like Ben Whiteman signing the Preston contract. It's just like I know I'm going to get clipped. I know I'm going to get clipped.
Ben White going might have been the last draw for Moore.
Maybe, but they did seem to recruit well. They were all, Dapper was saying that although they got rid of him, they had recruited really well. So,
but if you get rid of your captain, and Darren Moore's not stupid, he knows it's big money. It's a huge money for a club like Rovers. He knows it needs to survive. But if that's your captain, how do you justify this board want to make me push on?
Well, they did back him in the January window. They did bring in the likes of this, and this is a player I feel sorry for, and that's John Bostock. He's been best mates with Darren Moore. He's a player that's worked with him. He knows him.
We'll get him in the summer then.
Well, hopefully Bostock stays beyond the 18 months. But he has made a captain in Tom Anderson. He's a passionate defender. He's not just a good on-pitch player on his best day. Right. He's a passionate guy. When they get a goal back from losing, he'll have the passion to say, "Come on, get your team back, get forward again."
It's what we need.
So we've got a leader to take over from Ben Whiteman, but it's just a case of Darren Moore couldn't bother to stay to help us out.
I don't think it was a case he couldn't be bothered. I think it was just an opportunity came knocking, and he took it.
Money
as well. And Sheffield Wednesday are a big club at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are a big club.
You don't know how much our chairman put.
They are the massive. You call themselves a massive, the biggest club in the world, aren't they? That's what they always say when they come to us. We never know we can get all the Sheffield Wednesday fans in at Bluefield Road. They're that massive. Anyway, on that note,
Sheffield Wednesday stay up.
We've done an hour and 41 minutes here, guys.
Yeah, like that.
I know Jake's. Thank you very much for coming on, Jake, as well, because I know your shoulder's really bad, isn't it? He's struggling with his shoulder at the moment.
I'm on a lot of painkillers tonight.
Yeah, and you're due an operation today, so big.
Yeah, we'll see.
We need a. What do we need? We need a. No, not that one. We need that one for Jake. I don't know which one's we put. A big cheer for Jake, and a big cheer to all of you actually for being on. It's been a fantastic show. A lot of people in the comments have loved the passion tonight. It's been a bit handbaggy at times, but it's been great, hasn't it? And
it's been a fire show.
Taking all the slagging really well. I was putting comments in the. I could see while he was talking. I was just chipping in with little comments that people were.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was really good.
I think I was taking most of the. I think I was taking most of the heat tonight, especially.
No, you were going to get it. You were going to get the stick tonight because
I was going to get the heat tonight, and I think the Barry joke just came through. I think the Barry stuff just came out of the tiredness today. I think I was just exhausted and didn't let my mind rest.
I think I've been very tired today, having to make that.
We all say things in the heat of the moment.
You. Oh, bless you, like.
I think we just say things in the heat of the moment. Barry fans, don't worry, you're going to go back up to the Football League. Don't you worry about that. But I think we all say things in the heat of the moment.
He meant it.
No,
right,
of course he did.
Thanks a lot, everyone, for being on. Thank you, everyone.
Up the Forest!
Up the Forest. Don't forget, I've put the links. Links already in down there. Dore on Dore. I'll put these links in. Send me your if you have a link for your YouTube channel, guys, without the long thing, if you just send it me through, I'll alter your link if you tell me what your channel is actually.
Do you want that back on,
Dore? Link. That's with Charlie as well. Punk, I've got yours. Dore, I've got yours. Thank you very much, everyone.
Like the live.